Today we are going to speak about twin flames and veganism. Not because of us, but
But also because of us.
yes, but also because of us and everyone else. To
Yeah.
finally straighten up all this properly.
We basically want to share our experience, what we went through, right?
Yeah. And to break some expectations, to also bring us to a more balanced state, not to be chasing the blue.
White rabbit.
We are always saying blue recently because we painted our the gates
Yeah.
in blue turquoise.
Blue green, actually. It's very good.
It's very beautiful. It's Suki vampires. Oh, wait. So, we need to explain what exactly is veganism for, I mean, everyone knows what
In
it
our
is.
perception,
In our perception.
judging from what we came from, what we experienced, and actually not only just from us, because thanks to the YouTube channels, there have been other people contacting us whenever we share stuff, and this is also based on other people's experiences, not just on ours. So, because sometimes, we've been talking lately with you that sometimes we just don't know if something is this or it's like that, or we're just being paranoid.
The thing is that when you follow your intuition to the fullest and your instincts, you come to a point where am I paranoid or are people right? But the truth is that, I mean, the truth is not really the truth. There's many truths, but I just want to say that most of the times, if you follow it properly and you are healing and stuff like this, you come up with the answers. But it's just tough, when you. It's easier to live a life with dumb people and just live with them like this, because it's easy to find dumb people 95%, 90% where I mean, I'm not saying people are idiots, they cannot use their brain. I'm saying ignorance, we just live like this and we are like
We do whatever we're told.
we are, yeah, exactly, I was going to say like this. We do everything that we are told, and these are the people with the low IQ. This is the true IQ. If you do everything that you are told, you have low IQ, and if you use your intuition, you have high IQ. That's how it works. And
Technically,
yes, and when the veganism appeared,
everyone can awaken their intuition.
the 5 years that we are together, are we counting the before meeting personally or
No,
with
no, it's without them. So
without?
we've known each other for like 6.5 years, something like this, I think. Yeah, about 6.5 years.
Oh, so cool. Hello.
I always thought to myself, my true love, the person who is the rightest for me, the one person for me, is the one that I'm gonna be more than 2 years together with. I don't know, I just came up with this.
But I also came with this thing.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
I had like I made myself a small concept of like, I don't know, with rules or whatever, that it has to be this way.
This and this.
And then if it's good, that's my.
I cannot believe we never talked about
because we never shared to each other.
No, this we never spoke about.
I believe already because it's
That's
normal.
so cool.
It's super cool.
Wow, I really had this rule, and I had like a couple of relationships before that were quite crap. It's just that we were not for each other. It's like this. And I never could make it like 2 years. even with the longest one, like it never went to this point.
It's not what veganism does, is what it does to you. And at the time when we met from internet, it appeared this hype in the way. I mean, this has been for many years, but it's just that it increased the popularity in it at the beginning of our knowing each other. You know?
I just came up with something very interesting.
Maybe you're right, because I will continue. Or you want to say?
I'm just gonna say it very
Okay.
quickly. You are the one who took me into veganism,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the one who pulled you out of it.
Wait a second.
Because I was the one who ate first the egg.
That's true. But the egg in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
in Bali, we ate together this thing.
It was after.
Ah, okay, that's true. And then we came back to Thailand, and
Yes.
so in Thailand you ate the egg. We went to Bali, we ate meat, and then yeah, understood. Anyways, we have to make it very clear what's going on here. So at the beginning, maybe 6, because we know each other for 6.5 years. You said so.
Yeah.
Maybe at 6 years stage or 5 years. I don't know. At the beginning. I mean, 5 years ago, whatever. The veganism appeared, and then I entered in it, and I really thought, from what I understood, that it will like detox you, increase your spirituality, and there's another word. And it's good for the animals. But this I never really cared.
Me neither.
The animals. I mean, not that we don't.
We love animals.
The word
but,
not caring, we have to be careful. Not that we don't care and we just shoot, we kick everything that appears in our way. It's not like this. But we didn't just focus on it, that's for sure. So, there's the 3 stages, not stages, the 3 types, like for the animals, for the spirituality, and for the health. I did for the health and spirituality.
And I did for the health.
Yeah.
I didn't even do for spirituality. I mean, I was already into meditating and stuff like this. But my biggest concern was for health, because I had very bad health at that stage because of the stress I was into. Because I was working in hospitality for quite a few years. And whenever I do something, I just give like 1,000% of me, not just 100.
I also
Like
am like
everything.
this, you know.
Yes. I'm one of those people, and I cannot just, I finish work and that's it. I don't think about it. I was taking everything from work at home. It was in my heart, and this was eating me slowly from inside. So eventually it affected my health.
Mm-hmm. And
That
also,
was quite
yes.
bad.
So I always had all my life high metabolism. I even was almost diagnosed with hyperactivity, let's say. But I never took any pills, nothing. I just continued the way I am. And then with veganism, it became so bad. Like I was shaking, anxiety, and all this stuff. It started to eat me up, just like you. So I started veganism first, but the full transition was her who made, not me. Because I was still eating egg, remember?
Yes, it's like you talked to me about it. I got interested, and then I went to read as well, whatever was available at that time. And I got hooked up to it, and I was like, I'm gonna try. Because right at that time, I also got hives, like out of the blue.
And you assimilated.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like it was 1 month I was almost in bed, because it was not just the highs, but I started some kind of a detox that triggered inside of me, because I was smoking cigarettes as well before that, and I had stopped like a few months before this started. And it was such a nightmare. Like it was the most horrible 1 month in my entire life. And I'm grateful I was not working at the time, because the hotel was closed over the winter. And the whole time I was just thinking, that's it, I'm not going back to meat ever again. I just continued eating fish for maybe like 1 more month after all this happened. And I was preparing emotionally myself and psychologically to transition to entirely vegan. But I had an amazing effect from the veganism at the beginning, because I was just the opposite. All my life I was with hypo active
Exactly, yeah.
thyroid.
And then it increased your metabolism by
Like
flushing you out.
tremendously.
The more you flush your liver out, which for you to know, because we did a long trip, I investigated many doctors and everything, amazing. So the more you flush your liver, because the liver contains all the B vitamins, which are anti-stress vitamins, and other things, the more you flush it out, the more it will increase your metabolism, and you are going to become like anxious. It's very crazy.
That's absolutely true. Like, from a person who was all her life like hypo, I eventually turned into hyperactive. It was amazing, and I thought that I found the true medicine for myself, like for life. Like, I was like, I'm never going back. No way, nothing can make me to go back, because I feel so good for the first time of my life.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of weight, because I've been overweight all my life because of the how hypo function of the thyroid, and which I eventually figured out that probably I was even born with it, but because with a hypoactivity of the thyroid, things happen very slowly, and this condition develops very, very slowly. You may not be like having any signs for it, or you may not be paying attention to it seriously for many, many, many years to come until it totally
Yeah,
hits
it's
you.
crazy.
And what we find out later on as well is I'm blood type A. And blood type A has the tendency to take stress until the end.
Mhm.
Like,
To absorb it.
not just to absorb it, we don't notice that stress is affecting us. So eventually it can even kill us, and we would not even know how we ended up there. And
Blood
this
type
is
A, blood type O.
what exactly happened to me. Exactly this. Like, when I was reading all this afterwards, I was like, whoa, this is like, it's describing me. Exactly my situation of life.
So for me, what kept me going on the veganism was that the first 6 months, because I always liked the milk with cereals in the morning as a breakfast. That's the Portuguese style thing. We ate, it was soy based cereal, and our gut was getting very, very bad. We were getting leaky gut or something. And when we stopped and we ate something different, it started to show its colors finally, the veganism, and it showed the most in the spirituality. My trips, the astral projection, it was all so amazing. Everything happening very, very lovely, beautiful.
But that's just at the beginning.
Yeah, that's just at the beginning, just like you felt amazing, and the high
Yes.
metabolism has all this, reaches a limit. It for a person, if you're not too intoxicated or not many, it doesn't matter. You will eventually it will stop, because things has to go always in motion, like normal state, like as normal as possible. If it's very high, it means it will crash one day. It's just like Bitcoin. It grows very high, it keeps on growing moderately, but if it grows very, very high, all of a sudden it has to go down. So the same with everything in life. That's just how it works.
Yeah, I remember when I was in the university, when we were studying in economics, that's the part I remember. It just, drew my attention that whenever an economy is at it goes up and then it reaches its high peak.
Like
and
the
after,
climax, yeah.
Yeah, and after the high peak, it always like decline. It's almost like a rule. But it happens naturally, and everything in life is like this. There's a maximum that reaches, and then it starts to decline gradually until it might continue for a long moment, and then it goes up again and goes down.
Because when it goes down, you are restoring while being damaged on the health, and then once you
That's exactly so.
once you restore enough, then you can go up again. You can damage even further. So it keeps
If
on.
you see clearly, if we see how seasons are, how nature is coming, it's reflecting exactly this. Spring comes, and then in summer things go to the highest peak, and then in autumn it starts to go down again. It reaches the lowest part in winter, and then again the cycle continues.
It's true. It's exactly what it is.
It just we like to say, actually, because from our observations with spirituality and everything energetically, and the Kundalini awakening, which gives you a totally different view of things.
Another thing, continue.
That everything that happens on Earth is actually a reflection of how energies work in the entire universe. It's just copy paste. It's exactly so.
Another thing that we usually align veganism with spirituality is that, for instance, my Kundalini went to the head, to the crown chakra, while doing veganism. So veganism provoked it somehow. I don't know what it did. And it was just super unstable. I didn't like it. And I had to fall asleep. I had to force myself to fall asleep. So we have to jump to your Kundalini, because since we are speaking about Kundalini,
yeah, I spoke about it in a video already. That
we can mention, and you just say
to me,
quick.
The veganism also triggered Kundalini to go all the way up to the crown chakra, but it was super uncomfortable. And
I also felt like this.
Yes, it was not. I know Kundalini can make you go in stages which are not comfortable many times, but she never came out of my crown chakra until she actually pushed me to eat meat. That was the first time I ate meat. Actually, by accident, we ate in Bali because we intended to eat just fish, but then we ate meat because we were served something as a present that we didn't know what's inside. And that was the first time when I consciously ate meat, because I was feeling this craving within myself. And right at the moment of eating, the very first, the very same day, Kundalini came out of the crown chakra. And I think, actually I am pretty sure, because this was about to happen like 2 years before that, but because I cut off any animal food, the process like slowed down again, and it didn't come up again until I actually ate meat.
Most of the people, the majority that are afraid of the Kundalini awakening is because I was researching a lot even before I went to the group. It's the Indians, because they have, even though they have their gods and everything, there's a lot of movement for Kundalini as well.
Right.
And I was in a certain channel which is to awaken your Kundalini, like a video on YouTube, and many of the comments, which were Indians as well, they were saying, okay, so this will work for me and stuff, and there was many people saying, watch out, don't just force your awakening, it's going to be very bad. And I mean, it's like this: if you have chosen to go and awaken your Kundalini through any means, like a video or anything, like a food, a practice, ritual, whatever, it means that you are probably ready, because unless otherwise, but it's very, very rare not to be otherwise.
No,
it's not.
It doesn't
work.
exist, because when the soul is ready, Kundalini will find a way to be awakened.
Yeah.
If she doesn't take you to someone to make it intentionally, she will provoke an accident, because sometimes Kundalini gets awakened during physical accidents. Women awaken Kundalini during childbirth very often as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it will happen, or she will just meet you with someone with awakened Kundalini, and just the interaction with this
Yep.
person may trigger Kundalini awakening within you. So it's intelligent energy. We should not forget this ever. It's the most intelligent, actually, energy that there is.
Exactly. More intelligent than Reiki.
So it is absolutely impossible to awaken Kundalini without being ready. Inside of you, you are ready. Whether the ego is ready or not, that's a totally different topic, because the readiness state and anything that provokes bad experiences, not pleasant experiences, eventually this is because of the ego. It's nothing else. It's not the Kundalini itself.
We are probably, I could be wrong, maybe I am wrong, I don't care, but we are probably the only ones going as deep as we can, especially touching to influence veganism and Kundalini, because first of all, no one makes connections with anything,
Mm-hmm.
and then to go that deep, because there's
And things have to be connected.
yes,
It
they are all
is-
connected,
It
everything's
is
connected.
super important.
We are like taking veganism and spirituality for granted, because spirituality, which is a totally different topic, we're gonna make another video another day, a podcast about I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but I just want to figure out a way to explain very quickly about the I was saying about how life is easy. You don't have to do much and stuff like this. Okay, we'll speak about this.
Yeah.
We'll elaborate. So, there was, as I want to speak about twin flames a little bit, and because we met at the beginning, veganism and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and I was when I met her, actually, you guys already know there's videos
on our
about that,
channel, yeah.
how we met and stuff. But there was something that we were sharing many times. I don't know which videos are, but twin flame, the tension between twin flames. This thing, most definitely, a major part of it, because twin flame is spirituality, and if you're spiritual, you have to be vegan. It's almost like this: one follows the other, and eventually we were on this path. And
Yeah, there's this trend, like, you are not able to enter in the next stage of humanity, wherever it is, if you don't get vegan, like.
yeah, the fourth dimension agrees with what you. That's another topic. It's we cannot speak everything.
Sometimes
No,
I
it's
cannot
impossible.
believe that we were there as well. Like,
It's just crazy.
I know that we did, but at the same time, it feels so.
We have to give at least one example before we, continue to other stages about veganism again, because many people probably when you're vegan, you get the snowflake effect, which is horrible. And it's the syndrome snowflake, and I went to see on YouTube, what the heck is this? I want to see, and basically become paranoid with one thing, and you don't let it go for whatever reason. You just don't let it go. So, for example, a very deep vegan, many years vegan, watching this video can, for example, get stuck on a word that we say, and that's it. It will not believe anything else. It will not move forward, and that's the end of the life.
That's true. Because
horrible.
I see the same people speaking the same things over and over and over again. Like, there's no. Nothing is growing, no development.
Even nature is growing.
Yes, everything is changing. Come
The-
on, guys.
the winter-
We have to wake up. We have to.
The winter's getting shorter and shorter here in where we are in Bulgaria. and other places is getting longer, and things are wrapping itself around very, very different. Nature is moving forward, we have to move forward, and that's just how it works. The reason people get this syndrome in the head is because the lack of cholesterol, animal cholesterol, which is super important. You get cholesterol when you're drinking breast milk. It goes straight to the brain, and it helps to just be yourself. I mean, just to get some brain to work. Another thing is DHA, and which is completely lacking on the veganism, and other things, which altogether makes you a human being behaving natural. You don't behave natural anymore. You just become psychopath, and it was so crazy.
Actually, I will share with you something, because before I went vegan, all my life I never ate that much meat anyways. It's just the way it is in my family. Like since I remember myself, we were not eating meat every day. For instance, we were
Just checking if it's recording.
just eating, let's say, sometimes once a week or 2 times a week, stuff like this. And I was depressed all my life. All my life I was depressed.
Oh.
And I don't say that it's just the meat, because we eventually found out it has to do also with the iodine. And now, for the first time of my life, I think, because I've been taking iodines, Lugol's iodine,
Lugol's iodine, the
for
best
like
iodine in the world.
couple of weeks now. And not that it just is giving me energy, but I am feeling happier.
You were not sleeping, you were depressed,
Yes.
you were getting sick, I don't know, headaches and stuff. The headaches was the worst part.
And I think veganism eventually made the state of hypothyroidism even worse. Because at the beginning, it seems like it's getting better because you get more energy, your metabolism gets faster because of the low protein that's in the diet, in the vegan diet.
No matter how many kilos of protein you eat, it's impossible. You can never reach 100 grams of protein, and even if you reach, it will be indigestible protein. You need to eat like maybe 10 times the amount to reach. The egg is the most absorbable protein, then comes the meat, then comes the fish or whatever like this, and then the greens are probably...
So many people on hypothyroidism, they go on vegan thinking that this is gonna help them.
Yeah.
And indeed, it helps at the beginning, because first it detoxes to a certain extent some of the toxins, especially the water soluble. But the fact is that the fat soluble toxins, they still stay in the body, because they cannot be detoxed until you implement animal fat.
It's
just
not
doesn't
plant
work
fat,
with
doesn't
plant
work.
fat.
It's not even called plant fat, plant oils.
Plant oils, yes.
Animal
right.
fat, yes.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes.
And so at the beginning I felt so much better, but eventually it made me slower, even slower than before veganism, and my health deteriorated even stronger, because all this together with the twin flame journey, being vegan and having a twin flame journey is the most
It's the most
horrible
thing ever. We
you
hated
can
each
do
other.
to yourself.
We reached the point we were hating life and each other, and I don't know what. We were already going to kill ourselves.
Almost like, and every time such a thing passes, we love each other more afterwards. But at the same time, all this thing,
Just getting sick.
Yes, like this stress is putting you in a crazy state.
Remember the snowflake effect we talked about?
Yeah,
It
because
will...
on a vegan diet, you go to the extreme yang energy, which is the extreme goodness, like let's everybody be good, let's everybody do such a thing, let's everybody meditate for the goodness of the earth and all this stuff, but nobody actually asks earth what she wants. And this is all coming from the ego.
Mm-hmm.
So the vegan diet actually increases the influence of the ego like many times more.
Just the fact that you become so sensitive to everything, like you cannot come out of the house, you cannot make friends, you cannot breathe air.
You get sensitive to anything like creams, anything. Not
can,
that they're good for you, of course.
and then you might say, well, that's good, like this, that's the truth, but it's not like this. It's going to the extreme. You cannot tolerate almost anything that reaches a point you cannot even eat your vegan food. It stops. You just cannot. There's even a person I was watching that she was waking up in the middle of the night with a panic attack. I mean, you have to start to be more. As soon as we ate meat, it immediately disappeared. You know, when I was watching a guy that said every creature on earth that has the eyes in front of the head is a predator, and most definitely will eat meat. The eyes on the sides will be a prey and will most definitely be on the flight and running away and eat grass and all this stuff. And we have on the front, and even if you go to the primitive part, which is doesn't make any sense, but the gorillas and the chimpanzees, they even
said something very interesting. Now I gotta download with the eyes thing, because we call this in Bulgarian the dead eyes on the side here, and these are like eyes to see on the sides. Technically. And if you go on the vegan diet long enough, because if
I know what you're gonna say.
Yes.
You become a prey.
No, I'm not gonna say this.
Yeah.
When you go long enough on the vegan diet, the third eye opens spontaneously, even though you don't do anything about it, just because decalcification happens naturally when you eat just plants. And because of the high alkalinity of the urine. We don't get high alkalinity on the blood. We get high alkaline on the urine. And this triggers all this effect of opening the third eye. And the next stage after opening the third eye and being spiritual for a while and starting to see things and colors and auras and stuff like this, it is to awaken your sight vision. And there's nothing wrong about that. But you awaken this sight vision because there's a lot of entities in that world of the spiritual there. So you awaken the sight vision to be able to spot the entities, to actually feel them, to perceive them with your intuition better. Because entities will always try to work their way so that they get energy from you, so they suck energy from you somehow, because they cannot get energy by themselves. They don't have the same mechanisms like we do. So what they do is they depend on people, on souls on earth, to get energy from them, prana from them, so that they can continue existing. Because
they are not made out of light anymore, so they need to get light from other people. And by doing that, they can continue to exist eventually.
Yes, exactly so. And they look, again, with light and colorful just because of the light and colors they take out from us, from around.
And if you don't have your nervous system behaving, you passed a friend. I mean, it's not a friend, but
it's one guy from the village here. We haven't seen him for a while, and I was just talking to Andre the other day about him. I just mentioned
because he always has a big red
face. Is he okay? Because I really got worried about him. I was like, do you think he's okay? We haven't seen him for a very long time.
Now all of a sudden.
And he just passed. Well, I'm happy he's good.
So anyways, because, if you do not fix your nervous system and have it stable, you will, if it's unstable, you will become the prey. And the prey of what? Not from animals. It's not animals who are going to attack you. It's the fourth dimension. It's the entities. And because you're going to be afraid, you're going to be panicking and stuff like this. But if you are eating meat, you have a nervous system in check, you don't believe in stupid things, because believing is living, live, be and live. So live what you believe, you know. And if you are just doing your life grounded, eat your meat and stuff like this.
Well, the truth is that meat also makes you go more in the emotional.
Yes. Wait, really?
Yes, because eating plants, they make you cold.
Ah,
To
yeah.
that extreme, that love to you is everybody is responsible to themselves, and almost there's no kindness anymore to each other.
No, and it's almost like I am saved, he is not, and stuff
Like
like
someone
this.
dies and it's like that's the choice of the soul, and that's it. We have to take it the cold way. Well, that is one side of love, but we are human beings and we are here for a human experience, right? And we need to have
We
some
need to have
warmth.
some compassion.
And if you want a partner, you need to be warm, because with this cold state of thinking, it's impossible to have to inflame or any kind of other relationship. Forget about it. You're doomed. So animal food actually makes you go back to the emotions, to be more emotional. But many people think these are the emotions of the animals we take. Not really. These are our own emotions. And it's time for us to take responsibility for these
Exactly.
emotions. Not to continue blaming this and that it's giving us emotions. These are our own emotions. And they're stuck within us probably for ages. We don't even know how long, like how many lifetimes they've been there. These are emotional blockages that we need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is much more comfortable and easy to say that something else is triggering these emotions, okay, let's go to plants and
Lock the emotions up.
Yes, and
'Cause
we sort everything out.
We think
that's
we are
it.
getting rid of them, but they are just being locked up.
Yep.
An emotion is made out of energy, and I think, in my opinion, just like the thought, it will never disappear. One thought will live forever, one emotion will live forever, and the only way to deal with it is just to embrace it and to set it free by embracing it, by working on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way. Otherwise, it will exist forever. And
Have you heard that? I just remember something. Have you heard that people from the Mediterranean are very passionate, they are very emotional, and so on and so on? You know why? They're eating meat and fish every single day. Every single day.
they cannot go without it.
Yeah, so that's the reason why they are like this, and they're so warm
That's why,
around them.
because I went to live from Portugal to Corsica, and Corsica is the island of France. And I found it so difficult for people to embrace veganism there, because it's very, very hard. People really love their meat, and they are so alive.
Yeah, same in Cyprus.
Yeah,
when I
they're
was
so
there.
alive. I'm like, it's gonna be very tough for them to convert, and I don't even know what I was thinking. Imagine, I'm gonna tell you something very crazy. Over there, it's flooded. I say flooded, but it's not the best word. With the wild hogs, pigs, and if they do not hunt their pigs, they are going to get invaded by these hogs all over, and they're gonna take over the cities and eat the trash. They're gonna just invade everything. So every year they have to take down a certain amount of hogs, just like in America. I already read it's like this how it works. They have to hunt at least 75% every year, so that they are manageable. You cannot eradicate every single
And you
one.
be sure that they're not eradicated. There's a ton.
There's
I
millions.
remember, like, you just pass through somewhere and you see all the time.
Yeah, and they're like rats. Rats are here to stay. They will never go away, and
They'll
that's
always
like-
survive.
Yeah, the pigs are the same. They will always stay, and they are actually red meat, considered red meat. And why we are supposed to go away from red meat is because red meat. I'm not saying this for you to go away from red meat. Stay on red meat. It's okay. I'm saying that it contains carnitine and other things, of course. But carnitine is one of the most important elements. I went to check. I was like, why the heck do we need carnitine? Because carnitine is the mixture of methionine and something else. Two amino acids that you can get from plants, but the conversion is a crap. And imagine chicken has like 2%, 5%, very little, but beef has like huge amounts. You eat a portion, you have enough. What does it does? The carnitine is, it sends the cholesterol to be used for first of all, if you eat just cholesterol, animal cholesterol, without red meat, you are not going to use your cholesterol inside the cells, because you have the consciousness of the body, like, you know, the organs and everything, but the cells are your batteries. Without fixing the cells, you are doomed. There's no energy exchange, there's no electricity, nothing. The cholesterol is going to be used by the mitochondria, but only if you eat carnitine, which is only in the red meat. So it's amazing how it all works together. It's very, very, very cool. So anyways,
all this reflected on the twin flame journey is indeed very crazy and very unstable.
We are not saying
It's
the
not
word.
balanced.
We are not saying the word twin flame much in the video, but you get the picture. If we are not okay, how is the everything else going to be okay?
And most of the people that we see is like, well, I'm being blocked by this, you know, they're supposedly twin flame or whatever, and da da da. But I truly believe that most of these people, they are in lack of nutrients or something, at least one of them, that triggers such a psychotic behavior. Because that's what it is. We become psychotic towards
Just
each other.
because a person is not vegan doesn't mean he's not psychotic, because veganism is just high sugar and low animal food. So you can get that on going to McDonald's, for example. There's not much meat there. Yeah, there is a little bit, but
Exactly.
90% is vegan. So it doesn't mean...
And the trend is that in most animal products on the market that you will buy, there will be more and more soy inside and other plant-based protein that is going to replace them, and there will be very little meat. And this will continue as a trend.
Yeah.
And so many people think they're eating their animal food and stuff, but in reality they're not. Plus all these chemicals and other things which are in the processed foods, they affect us also very bad. All these attacks the thyroid, you know. It's all about your thyroid.
Your
Because
thyroid is...
in Bulgaria, thyroid is called щитовидна жлеза, and this means the gland of the shield.
Wow!
So the
This is our immune
thyroid,
system.
the thyroid is what is protecting you in any aspect, energetically and physically. And if your thyroid is not working good, you are not protected by any means. You're not protected energetically, you're not protected physically.
Emotionally, everything.
Absolutely. And there's something else I figured out lately these days, that animal food is what gives you primarily the nutrition, and plant food is what gives orders to the body to change its behavior, especially herbs. And the herbs nowadays is becoming more and more popular.
For
But
example,
we have to be
yeah.
very careful what we are taking out there. We also have some very bad experience with taking herbs because of, you know, a lot of internet information of people swearing how it doesn't have side effects and how amazing it is. For example, rhodiola.
which is not true.
You have to be very careful. Rhodiola triggered me to become... I've been taking it for a year and a half before I figured out that it made me anxious, because combined with other things like coffee or I think even some animal food and red wine.
So it's almost
and
like
stuff
pushing
like
you
this,
away from...
right,
the
is
good
is
part.
going to raise your blood pressure and actually can make you more anxious. But this information is written almost nowhere. And when you read about it, it's amazing, adaptogenic. Just take it, it will fix you. If you're anxious, it will calm you down. And if you are too much down, it will raise your vibe.
Yeah.
It made me dead, believe me.
So watch out for adaptogenics. For example, réglisse, which has another word. I said in French.
What was réglisse?
I don't know anymore, but...
was it this tea, which was...
It's like a stick. It's a root from a tree. Anyways, people use it to brush their teeth, and it's... licorice.
Licorice,
Licorice is considered adaptogenic, but it can raise your blood pressure.
Yes, because it makes you... It can give you diarrhea, for example. It can make you flush too fast if you're not careful with it and stuff. So plants are like this. They are small programs that... Imagine our body is a computer, and plants are programs that are we use to put in the computer.
Oh Lord, I have a download. Continue.
To change the computer's behavior. What is the download?
Because I experienced before TOF, which is stands for tree of life, tree of frequency, whatever, and it's marijuana. But I stopped, of course. It's been years and years. Anyways, when I was on it, I could see the world in a different way, and I grabbed an apple to eat, and I felt it was a program. It was not food. But
you already saw it at that point.
Yes, I could see the matrix inside. There was a code.
Before getting vegan.
Now, I don't know anymore if I was vegan or not, but I didn't use that ability to check the meat or an animal food, because probably we didn't even have at home. I don't know. I think I was already vegan. Who knows? So that's very, very interesting. I saw the programs and the codes, how it functions. It gives orders to the body exactly what you have to do. That's it.
Changes behavior. As animal food gives you the right nutrition, which will naturally make your body do the right thing eventually. It may take actually longer because your body is not given an order. It's just given what it needs.
For example, radiation and fertilizers. Huh?
I don't know if I explained myself properly with this.
Yeah, I know.
If I managed to make a point. I hope I did.
Well, it's very complex, everything, so it's not.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that we have an animal. We are not animals. We are not plants. We are a human being. That's what we came up with. The conclusion is made up of an animal body with if you want, plant consciousness. Let's say, because you can talk with a plant and go beyond and stuff, but with an animal is a little bit more funny. You can, but it's not as high frequencies. So when you give radiation to an animal, he's gonna die. Depends on the frequency. And when you give to the plant, it's gonna flourish. So when you give to us, to the human, it's gonna behave like an animal. It's gonna die. It's gonna hinder the potential.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we have to do what an animal is doing to copy paste and stuff. I wanted just to say something. Since we stopped veganism, our fights, twin flame fights, decreased dramatically, and we are so happy about it.
Yeah.
Because we finally found love. Like it's bully.
We can see beyond each other now.
Yes. I can see that you have green eyes. And the further you go without taking care of yourself, which means stopping this madness with paranoidism and stuff.
Take care of yourself. Check out your diet, how you're eating. Like, pay attention more to it because things are related. Yes, a plant-based diet is a shortcut to spirituality, but it is not the way. It is not the best possible way,
I
let's
didn't
say,
di-
to get there.
Yeah, I didn't even feel good. Like after 6 months, the spirituality already.
We stopped
felt-
having any astrals and stuff like this after a while, you know? At the beginning, it's very intensive because we actually put the body into stress. And the stress is lack of nutrients, of certain nutrients. And because of this stress, we were having a lot of astral projections and stuff like this. But then it all stopped. It just ceased, like it never existed. And we were constantly like talking about it, like, why is it happening? We're doing all the right things. We're eating plant-based, and we even went fruitarian for a while. Because that was, I'm glad we experienced it, you know?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to what it is like. And I'm glad we came back from that because we even saw further from this. And maybe that's what we did. We just went up to a peak and then we went down again to become more balanced, let's say. The truth is we need both. We need an animal and plant food. And it is because the body that was used as a template for the human being is like this. It is to eat both foods. And that's why we have even certain species that were given to humanity to grow them so that they can feed us. And if you see clearly, I haven't even thought about it during the veganism, you know, because we were not that much on the saving animals, never. But vegans say, if you eat plants, you're gonna save the animals. First of all, what about the plants? Hello, they also have consciousness. They even have higher consciousness than the animals.
Mm-hmm.
They're super intelligent. I can tell you as a person who can speak with plants that they are so intelligent that you cannot imagine. They're much more intelligent than animals. I'm sorry to say that, but that is the fact. And second, by eating all of us plants, we have to work like huge amounts of land, which means deforesting. And by deforesting, we actually kill 1,000 of species, like millions of species.
Like palm oil industry, for example.
Yeah, we kill all the insects. From there, it affects the birds. And from there, it starts to affect the carnivorous animals and so on and so forth. But we don't think about it. And then we start to try to save this species of animal and that species of animal. It is impossible because we already destroyed their habitat, their natural habitat of living. We destroyed it to produce plants to feed ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're saying, why is nature like doing this? Like, why is she upset? And we're having all these earthquakes and evil volcano eruptions lately and stuff like this, and tsunamis and anything you can imagine. Well, of course she is upset.
I think it went from the sustainable diet to save the animals, which is even which is already an extreme, because sustainability is you can achieve it in 1 acre or less. We are in 1/4 acre. Yeah, you cannot. We cannot really. We didn't even think about like leaving 100% of the land. This can happen maybe a good majority, but not everything, because it's so small. But 1 acre, you can have everything you need if you eat the majority, like animal-based food, and then the plants, some plant, like I don't know, whatever you want, and you just raise yourself, and that's it. There's nothing else to think about. There's no, yeah, that's it.
We are trying to do the balanced way now on our land that we have here, that we inherited from our parents, and we have a lot of trees, for example. We are thinking of changing some of them because most of our trees are mulberries. But thanks to this, we have so many birds in the garden. You cannot imagine.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
You go outside and it's like you are in the forest. You hear birds singing all the time. And we see so many species that I know are rare in Bulgaria. And we see them here on our property from time to time. It's absolutely gorgeous. We are also trying to grow.
Oh, there's hummingbirds coming here as well.
Yeah.
One or two.
We are also trying to grow our plants slowly with the no-till method, so that we don't disturb the soil, and we actually replenish it in this way. We are growing also worms.
We have a small worm farm, which is just a barrel full of...
It's kind of a big barrel.
Yeah, 120 liters of container of barrel.
I cannot wait for our first compost from there.
Yes, I'm just waiting for them to multiply as much as they can, because they are inside the cob house, and a cob house is, clay and stuff, and most of the time the temperature is similar. So it's on the coldish side. It's not too cold, but because of this they multiply slower, and with the sunlight, because I put it next to the window, it increases a little bit. But if I put outside, there's more volatility of temperatures, and I don't want, because we live in an area where Baba Marta is like the grandma of the month of March, which is so ridiculous. I mean, it's not bad.
This is only on the Balkans, in a few countries here that we have.
I'm gonna explain, because even though you know better.
No, you have to explain it, because you are seeing it objectively. I'm gonna be very subjective.
When they started celebrating Baba Marta, first of all, they celebrate many things here, like more than my country, Portugal. And Baba Marta, so the grandma of month of March, basically you have to buy some... it's like you buy how you call this?
It's a bracelet or something to put on yourself, made out of red and white string.
Yes.
It has to have these two colors.
And you will keep it. And you will also give to friends and stuff, but only when the first birds of Bulgaria... Well, there's always birds here, but there's a specific birds that come...
The first spring birds.
The spring birds, what am I saying? Yeah. So easy. Yeah, the spring birds come...
Like the storks and stuff like this, because they go away in the winter.
In the winter.
And then they come back.
And then you give to other people and stuff. And... also another thing is that they say that Baba Marta sounds... I mean, that's in my perception, of course, not like this, but Baba Marta sends rain, wind, sun, or snow.
She's unpredictable.
Unpredictable, yeah. And that's another thing. We are still in March, and it can still make cold, and it is cold outside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just want to
like this for another, about a week or so. So we have time to speak to you in this weather, otherwise... We are going to start fixing our house and...
Make sure you follow us on the Trindade Life, which is a channel we created. We are not speaking much. It's basically like showing everything we are doing.
Our daily life.
Reconstructing the life. Yeah, the life it is.
Yes.
Reconstructing our house. Making... going towards the off-grid pattern and stuff like this, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be glad to see you there.
Yes. And I think we wrap this up.
Yeah. We wanted to speak about the blood type.
Yeah.
Because we were more following now the blood type diet. Not that strictly, but pretty much we're heading that way and we feel much better.
I'm going to say straightforward in a phrase, and we will not need to elaborate as much. Because I thought, okay, the blood type diet is more important than just being vegan or being this or being that. It's more important. Yes, it is. But there's something. It will work for everybody. For example, you are blood type A, you should eat more on the blood type A. But what we found out is that the concept of we still need more animal food and plants is still valid. Plus, we found out that the primitive blood type, the first blood type was blood type O. Mm-hmm. And blood type O, it's maybe 90% to 100% animal based. Depends on where you go in Africa or something. If there's nothing else, to plants, a lot. And then the blood type A originated more in the Europe, and also another place. I forgot the place. And blood type O was African, South America.
We're speaking about these two blood types primarily because we are blood type
Yes.
A now.
Blood type B came out from Asia because it's more like, a little bit of everything. We say like blood type B balance. Blood type O, I don't know what to explain to you. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
Yeah, blood type O is more on the animal food and blood type A more on the plant food. But I think many people have the wrong perception
Yes,
of
that's
that
what I want to
the
explain.
blood type O is just a meat eater and blood type A is the vegan
No.
type of blood type. There's no such a thing. All the blood types, they have groups of foods, animal and plant-based, that they can eat, and it's a very good variety for each blood type. So blood type A, for example, is recommended to eat a lot of fish. And fish to me is...
It's amazing.
it's meat.
Yes, it's meat. Yeah.
It's not a plant. Hello?
Yes, and that's how it goes. Plus, the blood type A, it's not that it's easier to become vegan. It's just
Like I said, it will stand it longer and it will exhaust themselves without even noticing.
exactly. So they are on the stress intolerance part, the blood type A. So you have to take care of these babies.
Yes, that's true. Baby. I love you.
You're looking for some lipstick. Yeah, man.
Yes.
And I think that's it. We spoke about everything. I just wanted to say that DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, it's a molecule, it's a spiritual molecule, it's the only molecule which is spiritual in our brains. It goes away with detoxing your body, with not sleeping, with lack of melatonin, with many things.
Any kind of stress you give to
Any kind of
yourself.
stress, and veganism is stress. You cannot feel peace. That's why everybody starts to have a huge movement of let's meditate. All the monks are vegetarians. Most monks, a true monk will be a vegetarian, and they are meditating because you get more stressed. You get more sensitive to things because you don't have B vitamins, you don't have cholesterol, you don't have any of this, and you need to meditate to feel better.
But even the monks are taking better care of themselves, and maybe that's a part of them being more
Yeah.
calm.
I just watched, it's been a long time, but I remember watching people in Thailand fixing their house, like arranging, because there's monks coming. There's a time of the day or a time of the year that they come to a certain house. And when they come, you have to prepare a meal and stuff. And this meal had meat, for example. They didn't even say anything. They ate it. So it's not even...
Plus, we have to see that most of the times they live in nature because they are...
Exactly, they're off technology.
Yes, and we are stuffed with technology, even if you don't want. Like, we live in the cities, most of the people, and technology is all around us. This, by itself, already brings anxiety. It brings stress. So we need heavy grounding. We need to
More nature.
to balance ourselves. Plus, humanity collectively is more on the yang energy, which is more on the mind and higher, more active ego, let's say. So, and because of this, it needs much better grounding. And to be honest with you, there's no other way to ground yourself rather than just to be in pure nature, without a telephone, without a camera, without anything in the pocket, and to eat animal food, because
we actually struggle with this because it's the only thing left is the technology, and the only way to speak to you is through technology, and it's sometimes difficult. Like, we don't want to be grandpas and grandmothers who don't have anything at all. We like to be a little bit on the balance, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, an idea here, an idea there. And I think that's the best. You know, you try to do your best. If it serves you, that's the best rule of ever. Is it serving you right now? Super. If it's not, go away from it. We were vegans before, it was serving us. Now it's not, that's it.
And never say no. Never say no. This is what I learned. Don't take out something as an option. Because you really don't know what is going to happen to you. You may think now that this way of living is serving me, it's okay, is the best, I'm not getting affected by this and that, by technology or whatever. But there may come a day when you will totally change your perception, you will totally see yourself from a different angle, and you will understand that there is a better way, because there is always a better way. There's always a better way, and there's always place for improvement and change.
That was very cool. Beautiful. And we don't have anything else to tell you, because we don't want you to stay 3 hours. It's going to be too much.
Let us know in the comments what other topics you're interested in.
Yes, and also if we didn't cover like a big part of something in this video specifically, we can make a second part from
yeah,
this
we
topic.
spoke more about the food rather than on the twin flame part, but you have to put things together like by ourselves. It's just common sense.
Well, it's two twin flames speaking to the camera. It's enough.
Yeah. And we are very honest to death. Trust me.
Wow, so cool. Okay, that was very cool. And I hope you like it. Stick together with us. We're going to go even deeper and speak about more things. And let us know how it is going to be. And we're going to let you know as well.
See you next time.
See you next time.